Well, Boomer Sooner. And enjoy this. It's the first official weekend of college football. Well, technically, it's the second weekend, with last weekend being week 0, but this is the first full weekend of college football. It includes games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and even a big game on Monday. All of it. We'll break down all the games, who I think is going to win and lose those games. Coming up next, Boomer Sooner 1982. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show, everybody. My name's Harry James. As always, when we start the show, we'll start local in my conference, and that would mean the Big 12 Conference. There's a couple of games in the Big 12 Conference to keep an eye on, including a game that will start on Fox Sports 1, and that will be between Tulsa and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's going to win that ball game, in my opinion, in Stillwater. Saturday is actually next. Fox Sports 1. Get your breakfast going pretty early because Herman's guys will be playing Maryland at Texas. Fox Sports 1. I'm taking UT. The 2:30 game on Big Fox, our Sooners will be playing Texas, El Paso, UTEP. Of course, you'll remember OU games. I don't pick the OU games because I don't want people to say you're a homer this way or you're a homer that way, so I don't pick that game, but that's what time they play, 2:30 on Fox. The next game we will pick, however, 3 o'clock, Eastern Washington at Texas Tech, Fox Sports Net. We're going to go with Texas Tech. 6 p.m. in the Jayhawk Network, Southeast Missouri State will be at Kansas. Of course, Kansas. We got to go with Kansas, right? They got to get one more. 6:10 on K-State HD TV, Central Arkansas and aforementioned Kansas State. I'm going to go with the Wildcats of Kansas State. Northern Iowa at Iowa State will be at 7 o'clock on Cyclone TV. You got to go with Iowa State. And Fox Sports Net, Jackson State will be at Texas Christian. That time you got to go with TCU. And then Monday, we said it Thursday, Friday, you got all of them. The Monday game in the Big 12, West Virginia at Virginia Tech, ABC. I'm going to go with Virginia Tech in this ball game. I think a lot of the players that won 10 games for West Virginia last year, a lot of those guys have moved on from contingency. So look for Virginia Tech to kind of take advantage of that in that one on Monday. Nationally, Thursday, Florida International will play Central Florida at Central Florida on CBS Sports Network. UCF's going to win that ball game. Presbyterian College on the ACC Network will play at Wake Forest at 5:30. I'm going to go with Wake. 6 o'clock on Thursday, Austin Peay will be at Cincinnati on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Cincinnati. Also on ESPN3, Tennessee State will be at Georgia State on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Georgia State. Leon at Toledo on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Toledo. Rhode Island and Central Michigan will be in Central Michigan. I'm going to go with ESPN. On ESPN3, I'm going with UCM, Central Michigan. And row that boat. He is now at Minnesota as they host Buffalo. Buffalo at Minnesota, Big Ten Network. I'm gonna go with Mr. Rower. Row that boat, baby. On to the Gophers. of Minnesota, don't you know? That's it for the 6 o'clock kickoffs. 6:30 kickoffs, 2 of them. Holy Cross at UConn, University of Connecticut on ESPN3. I'm going to go with UConn. Or North Dakota will be at Utah on the Pac-12 network. I'm going to go with the Utes. 7 o'clock on ESPN, The Ohio State University at Indiana. I'm going to go with Ohio State. By the way, I'll be up there in Columbus next weekend. Looking forward to that. Sacramento State at Idaho, ESPN3. I'm going with Idaho. The late night game on Thursday, New Mexico State at Arizona State on the Pac-12 network, 9:30. I'm going to go with ASU. Friday games. Starting off after work at 5 o'clock, Fordham at Army, CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with Army. Charlotte at Eastern Michigan on ESPN3 at 5:30. I'm going to go with Eastern Michigan. 6 o'clock on the ACC network. Central Connecticut will be at Syracuse on the ACC network at 6 o'clock. I'll be going with Syracuse. Navy at Florida Atlantic on ESPNU. I'm actually going to go with Florida Atlantic. They're probably not happy about the way that ended, and Navy's kind of a hard team to prep for. So look for that. Colorado State at Colorado on the Pac-12 network. I'm going with Colorado. Washington at Rutgers. So the final game in that time slot at 7 o'clock. Fox Sports 1. I'm going to go with the Huskies of Washington. At 8 o'clock, there is one more game at 8 o'clock. ESPN will have Utah State at Wisconsin. The Badgers. I'm going to go with the Badgers of Wisconsin. And there is an 8:30 kick. Boston College at Northern Illinois. CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with BC. The normal Saturday games. Get your cookers ready for an 11 a.m. kickoffs. There's a lot of these. On the SEC Network, well, that's where we'll start. Missouri State at Missouri. I'm going to go with Missouri. Bowling Green at Michigan State on ESPNU. Michigan State's going to win that one. ABC will have Akron at Penn State. I'm going to go with the Lions of Penn State. Defending national champion Clemson, will host Kent State. Kent State at Clemson, ESPN. Got to go with Clemson Tigers, right? Ball State at Illinois on the Big Ten Network. I'm going to go with Illinois. And the other Big Ten game on the Big Ten Network at that time slot, Wyoming at Iowa. Big Ten Network. I'm going to go with the Hawkeyes. Or the Hawkeye. Yeah, the Hawkeyes of Iowa. 11:20 a.m. A little later than that, Cal will be at UNC. That's the University of North Carolina. On the ACC Network. Cal loses a lot. UNC loses a lot. All that being said, you got to go with the home team in that situation. I'm going to go with UNC, University of North Carolina. 11:30 a.m. games. 11:30 a.m. game. The Bethune-Cookman will be at the Miami of U. At the U on the ACC Network. I'm going to go with Miami. 12 o'clock on the dot. ACC Network. Youngstown State will be at Pittsburgh. I'm going to go with Pitt. 1 a.m. That's it for that one. 1 o'clock games, 1 a.m. games, or 1 p.m. games, sorry. VMI, that's the Virginia Military Institution, will be at Air Force. ESPN3. I'm going to go with Air Force. Portland State at Oregon State on the Pac-12 network. I'm going to go with Oregon State. The 2 o'clock games. North Carolina at North Carolina State at South Carolina. I'm going to go with South Carolina on ESPN. 2:30, baby. The mid games. Michigan and Florida at the Cowboy Classic. I'm going to go with Michigan on ABC. William and Mary at Virginia. I'm going to go with Virginia. Temple at Notre Dame on NBC. You got to go with Notre Dame and the story there. Nevada at Northwestern on the Big Ten Network. I'm going to go with Northwestern. And Alabama A&M at UAB. I'm going to go with UAB. That's on ESPN3.com. 2:45 ESPNU has Troy at Boise. Boise State, that is. I'm going to go with the Broncos of Boise State. 3 o'clock games. Stony Brook at South Florida. USF. USF not happy about the way that thing ended. Stony Brook a little worse than normal. They're not quite to the... so I think that Charlie Strong comes in strong and wins his second game and goes 1-1. That one's on the ESPN3. Charleston Southern at Mississippi State on the SEC Network. I'm going to go with Mississippi State. And our boy, Mark Stoops, Bob's brother at Kentucky, will be at Southern Miss on CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with the K of Kentucky. 4:15, Western Michigan at USC on the Pac-12 Network. I'm going to go with Southern Cal. 5 o'clock games, there's 3 of these. NC Central, that's North Carolina Central, at Duke on the ACC Network. I'm going to go with the Dukies. James Madison at East Carolina on ESPN3. I'm going to go with East Carolina. And Albany at ODU, Old Dominion, ESPN3. I'm going to go with Old Dominion. 5:15, Appalachian State will be at Georgia on the ESPN Network. I'm going to go with Georgia. 6 o'clock, ton of these games. Lamar at UNT, that's North Texas. Seth Luttrell, by the way, is out there now on ESPN3. I'm going to go with North Texas. Houston at UTSA, that's the University of Texas San Antonio. ESPN3.com, I'm going to go with Houston. ESPN3.com also has Northwestern State at La Tech. I'm going to go with La Tech. ESPN3 also has Hampton at Ohio. I'm going to go with Ohio. Southern Louisiana at Louisiana. Monroe, also on ESPN3. I'm going to go with ULM. And Houston Baptist at Texas State on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Texas State. A couple more of the 6 o'clock games. SFA at SMU on ESPN3. I'm going to go with SMU. Grambling State at Toledo on ESPN3. I'm going with Tulane. And UMass, Massachusetts at Coastal Carolina. I'm going to go with Coastal Carolina with that one. 6:30 games. Georgia Southern at Auburn on the SEC Network. I'm going to go with Auburn. ESPNU will have South Alabama at Ole Miss. I'm going to go with Ole Miss on ESPNU. And Louisville will be at Purdue on Fox National. I'm going to go with the Boilermakers to go chugging through in Indiana. 7 o'clock games. Of course, the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic is the big one in this time slot. That is, by the way, Florida State and Alabama. I'm going to go with Alabama. Big Ten Network will have the game also. Arkansas State at Nebraska. I'm going to go with Nebraska. CBS Sports Network's their game at 7 o'clock is Vandy at Middle Tennessee on CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. 7:15 game on the Pac-12 Network. The Pac-12 game, that one is Southern Utah at Oregon. I'm going to go with the Ducks of Oregon, the Quack. 8:30, the Houston Kickoff Classic. That's where we played. Oklahoma played last year. This year it's BYU and LSU. I'm going to go with BYU at 8:30 on ESPN. 9:30 on Fox Sports 1. Montana State at Washington State. I'm going to go with Washington State. Northern Arizona at Arizona on the Pac-12 Network at 10 o'clock. I'm going to go with Arizona. The final game on that one will be on Saturday, that is, will be at 11 o'clock. when West Carolina will be at Hawaii on the Hawaii Sports Network. I'm going to go with Hawaii. The Saturday game, I told you that's it for the Saturday games. Sunday games, Texas A&M at UCLA on Fox. I'm going to go with the Bruins to actually take this one. UCLA. And finally, the final game of the weekend, Monday, 7 o'clock, the opposite game of West Virginia and Virginia Tech will be Tennessee and Georgia Tech. The other half of the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic on ESPN. And on that one, I'm actually going to go with Georgia Tech. All right, guys. I hope you guys don't take any of these picks to Vegas. I'm not promising you anything, but I'm promising you there could very well be some upsets in the first weekend. So just don't take any of these picks to Vegas. Have a lot of fun. As always, guys, I'll see y'all next week. Boomer Sooner, everybody. Take care. I'm out of here.